This is a professional woodshop, but I'm not a woodworker. I've decided that when the cat's away and the shop is empty, I'll teach myself how to woodwork. I don't know how to use the big machines, so I'm definitely not going to mill any wood. The scrap card has plenty of material for me to play with, like this piece that looks like it was used for anger management.
Hearing protection and eye protection. Okay, that's the depth of my dovetail, I think. It's really hard to get started right on the line. Maybe I can cut it with a knife first, or a chisel.
Next to the Japanese chisels that I'm not allowed to touch, I saw these. They say made in the Czech Republic, so I think I'm safe to use these.
Oh my god. Ah. Maybe I should have used a saw that's not as flexible. Oh, interesting. Why is it pinching it?
It took me a while to figure out how to continue these lines onto the perpendicular plane. The solution was the speed square.
I take this out. So now I'm going to use this chisel to somehow like chop this off. And look at that. It's exactly the width of the chisel, so that's perfect. I'm just going to smash it in. Oh my god, so bad. This chisel sucks. Okay.
I tried a smaller chisel, which was able to make mark on the wood, but it was still a long way from being able to remove it all, so I knew that I needed a different tool for this job.
Maybe this part? Oh, it's stuck. I can't make the turn. What if I use a chisel, but instead of trying to cut this, I just cut at the front? Okay, I'm gonna back up the camera just even more. What the? Oh yeah. That's it. Maybe that's what I was supposed to do. So this joint is for sure garbage now. But all right, day 2, session 2. Cut the next one here. Here. We have to make those square. I found the board, so that's the angle that I should be trying to get rid of.
This plane wasn't cutting anything, and even though I fiddled with it for a long time, I wasn't able to adjust the blade to protrude a little bit more. So I just gave up on it and found a different plane.
What the heck? It sounds like it can't really... It's like it's hitting a dead end.
I carefully tried to push through, hoping that I wasn't damaging the blade.
Okay.
So now what we do is we take our dovetail, after we've...
Watching a Rob Cosman video, I discovered a technique to get the saw started by using my fingers as a guide.
Okay.
I wanted to use Rob Cosman's technique of tracing my cut lines onto the second board, but I couldn't find anything that was thin enough to fit, other than these wobbly blades that barely made a mark. If you see a problem with how I'm cutting this, then good for you. I definitely didn't see it, and it took me a while to figure out what went wrong.
So instead of going all the way down and then realizing that the blade is stuck, I'm going to try to go down maybe a little bit and then start changing direction and just keeping the blade moving.
So it turned out that the saw was the appropriate tool for this task. I just had to learn the appropriate technique. And with the bulk of the wood removed with the saw, it was then easier for the chisel to take care of the rest.
Oh no, the crack was starting to form along this line here.
Well, first of all, they don't fit. Second of all, even if they did fit, they're cut wrong. When I traced one shape onto the other, I did it while the boards were on the same plane. So the best I can get out of this is a really nice long board, which is where I started. On the third attempt, I felt that I was going faster through some of the operations, so I didn't speed up the video at all. I'm really not a fan of the imperial system. So dealing with fractions to find the center of the board and then the center of the half was really tricky. The dovetails I drew did not turn out symmetrical, but they looked decent.
So I found a smaller chisel. It has a weird shape. I don't know if that's beneficial to what I'm trying to do, but we'll find out.
The chiseling left behind a lot of rough areas, so I tried filing those off.
This part's gotta go. So this is the third attempt.
If you're confused right now, so was I. It took me a while to figure out what was wrong with this joint, and it turns out that the wedge needs to be flipped 180 for this joint to work. It turns out that the speed square that I've been using is not very accurate compared to this tool, so from now on it's going to be this for right angles. I also found a marking gauge, same as what Rob Cosman uses in his videos, and I think this will help me with accuracy, more so than a pencil line. I should have really watched the entirety of his video earlier, because it also has some tips about how to subdivide the length of a board using a compass, which saved me a lot of time. I also think I'm introducing a lot of errors into the cutting with the chiseling, so I'm going to try to sharpen the chisel and hopefully that solves at least part of the problem. I'm keeping the two pieces clamped for alignment and tracing the tails onto the pin board. I'm enjoying finding a lot of neat tools in this shop, like this cute little square edge. So here they are, my very first attempts at making dovetail joints. I think the very last attempt is acceptable. So now I have to figure out how to incorporate this joint into an actual piece of woodworking.